right, guys, welcome back. You are still tuned in to Funtastic Fridays, and you know we're here with you every single Friday. All the Friday them one name Friday, and all the Friday them one don't name Friday. Don't ask me no questions because I cannot explain that. From 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. And you know, from you hear that intro song, it is time to talk the Ting with Kim. All right, so this is our discussion segment. We always have various topics every single week, and this one I thought it was the perfect way to end the month of January, because we know say new year new me is a thing. Everybody just wants to be this brand new person by January 1, and everybody sign up for gym membership, and probably by February or March the gym membership is some still a pay for and not go, and some just end it. Right, because I've known people have actually deductions happening and now go to the gym, right? So we just know it's a thing that happens in January, and we say, you know what, let's try to help you guys to stay on your path.
I think the guilt helps them to lose some weight. When they see the money coming out, they're like,
them complain about it, but I'm still not go there and I'm still not stop it, because it's like a part of them is like, yo, I'm gonna go to the gym, and the other part I say, yo, you know, the money I spend,
Kim, the other part say, get somebody else to do it.
Well, the money's still on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, so what we said is that we want to help persons on the journey to fitness, because I think it's probably the number one thing that every New Year's resolution, it top people list. Want to lose some weight, want to gain some weight, want to be healthier, want to be all these things. So we have some specialists, some professionals in this field here to help us and teach us. And as I said, guys, it's about us teaching each other. So if it is that you have questions on the live, or you have insights or feedback that you want to share as well, because you know something about it too, feel free to share it. All right, so we're here to learn from each other. All right, so we're gonna let them introduce themselves first, just with your name, and then you can also let us know basically the name of your program and basically why you got into fitness. I think I'd like to know that, why you chose to get into fitness. So anybody want to go first, or you want me to select? All right, we will start with Mikhail.
Well, hello, hi, thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. And as you said, my name is Mikhail, and my fitness brand is Activeness. And that really started because I wanted to create a program where persons could come together and feel welcome, feel as if they are, moving together to achieve a goal, nurturing their habits and their lifestyles to, become a better person in their own eyes, So Activeness was born from that, and I've been doing that ever since.
I like that. I love that. All right, so next we're gonna go to the gentleman to his right. Right.
I'm Najee Israel. Well, you already said that, but yeah. Well, I started doing personal training in around 2017 also. Also I'm from St. Vincent, that's why I sound a little funny. But yeah, I started doing personal training in 2017 when I had finished UTech. Really and truly, it sort of happened by accident. I was interning at a gym, and then, after learning about it and developing a knack for it, I decided to just, branch out on my own and do my own thing after that. And I had a relative success for a couple of years now. I'm currently working at JYM training, and that's basically what I'm doing right now. So as far as where I started, I kind of needed to pay my rent too, so
that's always important.
All right,
I love the honesty. Of course, fitness is not everything.
Somebody's got to do it.
So I love it, and I think it's a very interesting field that you guys have chosen, because I think everybody knows, whether from personal experience or seeing it, trainers are like among the most hated people. I've seen it. People legit are upset, want to fight. Your clients love you.
You cannot argue, You are about to just hate it.
Yes, people hate it.
Guess what? When the program ends,
no man, people say people love it. People are like,
so you're
all right,
hate it forever.
Is that them take the bad up willingly? Because they're like, you know what, this is gonna pay off. But don't hate it in the moment.
And they're not really truly hating them,
No, it's like a love hate. It's like
for another day.
Exactly. Torture. That's what it is.
I actually take my clients in. I'm not wearing that.
I've seen his videos. His clients hate him.
No, but I'm saying this.
I've seen his videos. His clients actually seem very cordial and
back
happy.
tomorrow for more fun.
No, to be fair, I've seen his videos. His clients outrightly hate him, right? His videos, they seem very, cordial. I don't know where you find these people.
You have two different types of people. You have persons who need a drill sergeant. I have a friend who said that she can't train with me because she needs somebody to step in her neck. And I'm like, whoa there. Whoa there.
We don't offer that here.
And then you have persons who need a little more hand holding. They need the gentler touch. Hey, you're doing well. You can do it. Let's go. Come on.
So you adjust to the client.
Yes.
So you can do both.
Manage. I do both.
Okay, all right.
And then Najee, what you say, just one way?
Well,
Najee or the highway.
Najee or the highway.
well, okay, I can't really, well, when you're dealing with different people, naturally you have your own approach to certain people and whatever.
Yeah.
But I like it to be a little manipulative because I kind of just why it gets to it. I'm not going to be screaming at you or anything like that. I'm going to just find a way to get it to do what I want to do. And you might cost me a long way, but I just say.
I think you'll secretly enjoy it, but that's another discussion, right? I think, okay, so y'all enjoy it, because I spoke to trainer, they're like, basically,
I wouldn't lie to you, there's something fulfilling. You see somebody on the ground half dead in their own sweat, I just...
Somebody what?
half dead in their own sweat on the ground.
These people. No one don't have no friends in the business.
It gives him a sense of fulfillment,
I agree.
This not sound safe, but yeah.
It comes to the territory. All right, guys, so we're going to get into the questions. That was a bit of getting to know our trainers in studio. And guys, thanks for taking the time to be here. We appreciate it, all right? So let's get right into it.
Before you get into the questions, I want to know, because these trainers are from two different entities, right?
Yes.
So these type of shirts, is it standard? Do we have to get this? Like, because you have basically the same kind of shirt, just a V-neck and but then it cut off right at the muscle. Like, is that planting?
So was it bought that way, or you guys filled the toes over time?
Well,
that is an interesting
I always see the gym instructors like they all chop at the same
always look the same.
Always. I see my neck, my whole must get eaten.
You see what you need to do, you need to fold the sleeve a bit so you can get
to give a little style. Okay. All right.
So before you get into gymming, you have ways to give
with nothing, but I'm gonna find two of them shirt they go buy. But I'm gonna get a little muscle first.
Yeah, that thing with fit people. When you're fit and feel good, like your shirt size tend to
adjust.
Go down. So sometimes it might be a medium, but you wear small because you want.
Okay.
Yeah, that's some people.
All right.
And listen, I remember talking to somebody who was really into training, and I remember one time was talking, like it sounded like boasting. I said, bro, you can onboard this. And I listen, Kim.
Yeah.
This is not something I buy. It's not something I wake up and it just happens. I put in the work. And it's because I put in the work, I can talk about myself how I want to. Is that a thing for y'all?
For me, yes.
Yes, for you. Because you put in the work and then buy a shop.
Well, I can't really say I talk about it that much, right? But then, I might have instances where I post a video. I post a video shirtless. It's deliberately shirtless. I'm not going to go out and say, well,
all your shirts were in the wash. That's just the story.
Yeah, So.
But they're in the business of fitness, so they would naturally want to show.
And that's how you get clients, I want that. Yeah.
They say you can't buy a shirt from a shirtless man.
Fair enough. So you buy the abs
know the product
from the abs filled man.
Yeah, you want to get abs from people who look like they have abs. You want business tips from somebody who look like they're running a successful business.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so we're going to get into the first question. The very first one is it possible to eat just about anything you want, just as long as you work out consistently?
Is it possible? Because we want to know.
Because other persons I used to be this person. I'll be like, listen, I'm not afraid of working out. I'll put in the work, but the diet part, I just I'm gonna eat everything under the sun I want to eat. But I will put in the 2 hour, 3 hour, 5 hour, depending on how much hours I think is necessary. Is that something that actually can work for fitness if that's your goal?
I like how them rush to jump on that.
I would say yes.
It's possible.
No, it is possible. So I am the trainer who will advocate for persons to eat the foods they enjoy.
Okay.
Eat what you love, but don't overdo it. Because there's a common misconception that you have to have a highly restrictive diet. You know, you have to eat the dry chicken breast, the 2 pieces of broccoli,
And
if you want to see certain results.
The
if you
dry
want to get
crackers.
fat lot, and the dry crackers
Yeah.
and all of that, you know. And I don't necessarily subscribe to that. But you have to be careful, and you have to operate within a calorie deficit. And you will hear that word thrown around a lot, especially when you go on Instagram and you hear from personal trainers and stuff like that, which really means you're taking in less calories than your body requires, you know.
Okay.
And calories is energy. It's not a bad thing. It's not a buzzword. It's not evil. Calories, your body needs calories to function daily, right? So once you're taking in less calories while doing your exercising, you're good to go.
Okay.
You know?
It should be progress. Okay.
But you're not saying cut out a bag of things, that you can eat anything you want. And so if me want to eat BK all day every day and work out as much as I need to, I'm good.
Not exactly. So you need to be mindful. You need to be mindful of the calories that you're taking in, is what I'm saying.
So he said, basically, like if you're at a level, you know,
Okay.
we can't start off like that. we have work to do first.
Have to undo some stuff first.
No, I'm not saying you should eat Burger King every day.
All right.
Because we want to also focus on getting nutrient-rich foods, you know, for longevity and life, you know. But looking at, say for example, you look at a cup of quinoa, for example, and I Googled this before I came in. A cup of quinoa, simple Google search, is 222 calories.
Right.
Whereas a cup of ice cream is 207 calories. Same portion.
Yeah.
One is considered better for you, the other not so healthy,
Right.
but it has less calories.
Yeah.
So you have to watch these things.
So you have good calorie and bad calorie.
You do have good calories and bad calories.
Oh, go on.
Well, you have that,
But
and then what
calories
I
are
got from him
calories
is
at
that
the end of the
calories
day.
are calories, because
Yeah.
whether it's something considered healthy, you can
you
still
still
have
have to
more
watch the
calories
calorie
than
intake.
the
Oh.
unhealthy food.
But here's the catch. The quinoa, whilst it has more calories, it is more nutrient dense.
Yeah.
So when you eat that, you stay full longer. Whereas you might have the ice cream.
No, sir.
And
One cup of ice cream.
And the
can't
boy
hold
not
it.
for one cup.
Exactly.
The boy not
You
for
gotta
one
eat
cup.
enough more after that.
Yeah. Okay, I get you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Najee?
And to kind of piggyback off of what you said about the calorie deficit, as you said, it's important, right? But then, in terms of eating what you want and just exercising, hope to see results, that might work to a point, because what a lot of people try to do is that they try to train themselves into a deficit. As
Okay.
like they're focusing on how much calories they burn in the session. Whereas I would say you really need to pay more attention to how much you're actually putting in on a whole, not so much how much you're expending, because really and truly, in the grand scheme of things, the amount of calories you burn in that 1 hour is not that much. Burn 500 calories, but then you eat 2 Snickers and you get 1,000 back.
Wow.
So really and truly, you still need to focus on how much you're putting in, even if it's food that you like. If you eat Burger King every day, cut out the fries, you don't cut off half the calories already. You take off, you eat it in, you cut it in half, you eat half the burger instead. You find different ways to make
Make
the
it
food
work.
that you like,
Oh.
but cut the calories.
Cut it down. Okay, so don't overdo it.
Don't over.
So moderation. Moderation is the word I like,
Yeah.
and portion control.
I have a slice of Burger King, please.
And there's another thing that
Why laugh
I
when we slim? You can see that day.
there's another thing that I always see, and I have been guilty of this in the past. You either you're at home Sunday dinner and share with your plate of food. You put your 2 pieces of chicken or your 3 pieces of chicken, whatever.
Jesus.
But then,
Fill in your pocket.
Yeah.
but then, when you start share out the rice, 1 spoon, 2
5
spoon,
spoon.
3 spoon turn to 10 spoon, and you know, portion control. We as Jamaicans, and I'm gonna say this, we tend to overdo it.
Yeah.
With the carb options. Now, carbs is another thing that persons tend to shy away from. Again, carbs aren't bad either. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But moderation and portion control.
All right.
Well, you see, I think the cook shop them sort of, set we up for that, because them not give meat so easy, but they will give a bugger rice. So that we just see this as the norm. If you have a bugger rice, what
Put
are
the
you
box and
doing?
Take it to the side.
Right?
Belly full, I guess,
Yeah.
but that can be the thinking, if
Yeah.
you want to make certain lifestyle
Progress.
changes.
But I like that. I love the feedback I'm getting from you guys, because I have seen where a lot of persons do this whole just stop eat certain things. I myself have tried it and speak from experience, and then it's like I realized this can't be a lifestyle. I can't maintain this long term. I realized those changes I was making was just for a season, because first in my life I can't do this. Am I never going to eat ice cream again? Like, no, you know. So I love that you guys are very realistic about it. It was like, these things aren't bad, but just adjust it instead of going with the full burger, you know, half a burger, slice of burger. When you go Burger King and order it, me know how it go. But yes, I love that because I've heard, why I actually asked that question, because I've always heard you can't outwork a bad diet. So that's really where that question came from, because some persons really do exist like that. They eat everything they want and just work out for 5 hours and feel like it quits out, right?
That's true.
But something you point out as well, which which makes me feel like fitness is a scam, is that the amount of calories you will lose in an hour compared to what you eat. Enough here.
Yeah.
2 Snickers can undo 4 days of workout.
Not massive.
Here's the thing, though.
Yes.
It depends on the type of workouts you're doing or the kind of exercises you're doing, right? So when you look at resistance training, right, you have to understand that when you do resistance training, that may have certain implications or changes on your metabolism. So the more muscles you build, when you build muscle, you tend to burn calories at rest. So you work out in the gym for an hour, you might burn X amount of calories. You stretch, you finish, you go home, you turn on your Netflix, you chill a little bit. You're burning calories at rest as well.
So I can still burn. Because I've always said, by the time, because you know, everybody will get a look at fitness watch, we get a look at apps and thing. When you do look at jogging now, you say I jog for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and you see the thing I show you look at 200 or look at 300, I say, wow. But they say we still, based on the type of workout we might do,
right? You're building muscle and stuff.
To burn calories while we resting muscle. Okay. Wow.
All right, I like that. You know, changing our misconceptions. I love that you guys are correcting that. So on the topic of nutrition, which is what we're discussing, what are some basic nutrition tips? You've been dropping some already, but what are some basic nutrition tips, probably 2 each, that you can provide for anyone looking to both lose? So 2 tips for somebody wanting to lose, and 2 for somebody wanting to gain.
Well, how I see it, sometimes you just kind of need to approach what you're currently doing from a structural standpoint, right? So you can look at, you break it down like this. You look at, because you already have your own eating habits and how you eat on a daily basis, right? So you tend to look at the amount of food that you're currently eating. After which you can start looking at the type of food that you eat. And then you see your likes and your dislikes, right? So then when you're doing things like this, you kind of condition your mind to make yourself more comfortable with how you're eating long term, instead of just trying to make a 180. Because if you do it where, you know, I know I like these foods, but I could find a substitute that's tastes good as well.
Close enough,
not as many calories, make slight adjustments there, right? When you start looking at it from that standpoint, it makes it easier for you to eat better going forward, and develop a new habit, as opposed to just trying to switch things right away.
No, so basically little changes along the way, instead of like a big just stop eat this or
no more meat.
Yeah, no more bread and no more rice, as most people tend to do.
We bash up, man, we got back on the wagon.
So in the case of somebody who wants to lose weight, right? And they really like fried dumplings, and you like 5 fried dumplings, right? You know, you just start eat 3, right? And then you probably substitute the other 2 with something else that don't have as many calories, right? That's dense. Okay. You can do things like that just to make it a bit easier in terms of transitioning the diet.
Okay, I like that. And that tip actually happens for both losing and gaining. You make small changes for the goal that you're aiming towards. All right, we can work with that. And Mikhail?
Okay. Nutrition facts. When you're in the supermarket, look at the nutrition facts. Don't just walk down the aisle blindlessly picking up things and putting it and then go home.
Smart can, I'm not inviting Mikhail back. You know what, we're doing the interview, because
aren't those for like, who are those for? Those are for us?
Well,
I thought this was for like
I thought about decoration.
No, I thought it was for like for the manufacturing companies.
On the food, right?
And them
no
JMEA. So they can make sure say everything legit.
It is for us.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Another thing too, you see when you're looking at the nutrition facts,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't actually read it properly.
Yeah.
So they might see 180 calories. Oh, that's 180 calories, but it's per serving. And then a serving is like 3 cookies. And you done about 10.
Why them do that?
So-
Who does 3 cookies though?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why you don't give us the content
full
for the bag? Who is this
Oh,
first
it's
serving?
just me and you just...
I forgot to do the maths, and them know we don't like the maths.
Don't like that.
And the thing is, if I know I'm trying to lose weight,
Yeah.
right? and I see a bag of chips, and I
Yeah.
say, 1,500 calories in it, I'm not going to buy that. But if I say 150, it's like, okay.
Just catch them, catch me. Yeah, okay, I see.
A long time chopping up
Yeah.
on it.
2023, a lot of this camera they ever get.
They've been a scam a long time, sir.
So now we know we're gonna be reading the nutrition
So,
facts. and we're
I
gonna be
feel
doing the
draped, let me
maths.
neaten up my shirt. So yes,
If you
sir,
see
read the
me
nutrition.
in the supermarket with my calculator, don't worry about the bill. I'm checking the nutrition facts.
Just mind the business and move on.
Thank you very
Stop by
much.
the water aisle, get
Alright.
yourself a bottle,
Alright.
drink water, and mind your business.
Yep.
So check the nutrition, he's saying. Mm-hmm.
And I just want to look at what is in your plate, you know. So you want to look at your macronutrients, which is, you know, the foods that your body needs on a day-to-day basis. So the macro and micronutrients. So your protein source, you want to ensure that you're having a substantial amount of protein in comparison to your carbs, as well as fats and oils. Yes, fats and oils are also good. You have vitamins and minerals that are fat soluble. So you need those fats and oils to reap the benefits of some of those nutrients, you know?
All right, Kimmie, let me just jump in for a second. Give us a little, what we call now, layman terms, because we know I like
Describe a meal,
They say
a good meal.
proteins. People say proteins.
All right. Well,
We say give me what we call
Describe a
protein.
plate.
the meat.
Meat then.
Yeah,
the
meat.
All right.
Right.
So your
Meat.
chicken, your fish, your beef.
Them
and
stuff
them
there.
Right.
All right. Then we go carbohydrates now. What we talk about now?
So we're talking about the yam, the
Rice,
sweet
them
potato.
stuff,
yeah.
Rice is fine. A lot of persons tend to shy away from rice as well, but rice isn't bad.
Right,
But
but
again,
what's-
moderation.
moderation.
You know?
Okay.
Right, and how you prepare.
And then when you say oils now, we talk about this
We're
now.
talking about, for example, coconut oils, avocado, good
Them
oils,
kind of
good
stuff,
fat.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. So now we're clear. Yeah, guys, you understand now? Yeah, because I've asked for them as well, you know. Them, asking for a friend.
Okay.
Definitely.
No, I'm learning a lot, so
No,
I
trust
love
me.
it. I love it. And then we still, because of course I want to finish up talking about nutrition before we go into the physical stuff, right? So for the third question, intermittent fasting. This is something that many of us would have probably heard of. You know, I'm pretty sure y'all have heard about this, but I've heard of various types of intermittent fasting. So I'm asking that you guys explain what it is first, and then whether it's something that actually works or not. Do you recommend it or not?
Okay.
Well, as we've been saying it before, we're talking about calorie deficit, right? And intermittent fasting is another way of trying to achieve that, right?
Yes.
So it's similar to keto, it's another way of trying to achieve it, right? And basically what happens is that you restrict your meals within certain windows, and then you fast outside of the windows. So some people have an 8-hour window where you're allowed to eat during this period of time, and then outside of that you don't eat, right? And then this way it restricts your calories to a point where it kind of forces you in a deficit to some degree. But then also some people do it where it's easier to organize the meals, especially when you have your day going on. It might be hard to eat breakfast, things like that. So you don't eat breakfast, you have your work, you eat during this period of time, right? Does it work? Well, yes. I don't fully advocate for it because I don't believe it's that sustainable long term.
Yeah.
But then especially if somebody press the time and they want to look good at a certain period of time, you can try it, but I wouldn't tell you to.
Okay. All right. Look at honesty there in the back.
Yeah. Well, I agree 100%. For me, I just want to reiterate the point of the other diets that are out there. You have the keto, you have the whatever else there is. And all those really do is put you in a calorie deficit at the end of the day. So persons might look at one diet and say, oh, this might be for me, or that might be for me. Yeah, maybe, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to a calorie deficit. Now, intermittent fasting, does it work? Yes, it can work. I have done intermittent fasting. For the most part, I do intermittent fasting, mostly because I don't have time for breakfast in the morning sometimes, or I prefer not to eat too early in the mornings. And I know a lot of people like that, and I have clients like that as well. So with all the diets that are out there, you have to understand yourself. and know what works for you. It will not work for everybody, and it is not sustainable for everybody. But some people will prefer that, like myself, and it does work for me as well. So just know what you need and go with that. Be guided by that.
Okay.
And something that's sustainable as well.
Yes.
All right, so I like that. I like that. So I know I've heard about keto as well. I should have asked you guys to like explain what that is too. I know the intermittent because I researched that one too. And you have persons that probably will eat, as you said, a set time window, probably 12 p.m. till 8 p.m., 8 a.m. till whatever, and they just don't eat outside of that. But what is keto? If you guys, somebody can explain. How is it different?
Keto primarily focuses on your intake in carbs, so you kind of cut your carbs to some degree and focus more on fats and things of that nature. Right? The thing with that, as I said before, is another way of trying to achieve a deficit, because carbs, if you restrict your carbs, you're still eating less, comparatively speaking.
Yeah.
Right. With regards to the sustainability, if you can manage that, by all means, right? But then a lot of people might find difficulty because carbs is a source of energy as well. You get what I mean? You might find difficulty going about it how you're accustomed to it, because they don't have the same amount of nutrients that you're intaking from before. It might take a while to adjust, but as I say, you can attempt it. It could work. If it doesn't work, you might need to try something else.
All right, no problem. All right, so guys, we're gonna go to a break. When we come back, we're gonna finish this discussion that we have with Mikhail and Najee. So far, I've been learning a lot of interesting tips, things that I'm gonna incorporate into my fitness plan. I hope you guys will too. And as I said, if it is that you have any questions, I know persons have sent me questions off air, but if you have any questions, feel free to send it, okay? We'll be right back.